Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me. This is Sow and Tare Live. I'm Katrina, and hope you're having a good day. Happy New Year. It looks like people are just starting to come in. It's a weird Monday, just like last Monday was. People forget it's Monday. Dawn is here. She said I just hit the third like for the night. I'll be back too. Looks like there was maybe some conversation that happened before that I can't see. So if you said something before that, I don't see it. So yeah. Hey, Andy Rabbit's here. Hello. She's saying hello, waving, and thumbs up. And Steve's here. Hi, Steve. Well, hello, Katrina. You're a minute early. Haha. Oh, was I? I'm sorry. It's okay. How are you guys doing? This is a new year. I know in my area, there's a lot of fireworks that happen in the new year, or not in the new year, but New Year's Eve, there's a lot of fireworks that happen. I was hoping that since it was raining so much that there wouldn't be any, but then the rain let up like at 11. So I did go out and check and make sure everybody's good. And they were fine. Everybody was good. I think probably having the noise of rain for the past week probably prepped them pretty good. Tortellini was a little bit nervous, a little bit in there, but she does well, except for when they're really close. So, yeah. Joy's here. Hi, Joy. Hello, all from Western Oregon. Gidros is here. Gidros Urban Homestead. Hey. And Steve says, did your tarp hold for you? Yes. So you can, if you saw today's video, you can see kind of the result of that and kind of how it's flapping around. If you remember when I put up that tarp, I have that cattle panel right. It's literally like, I don't know, it's probably more like that far away from the actual where the tarp hangs. And it is actually billowing out all the way, or it did billowed out all the way to hit those, and you can see little scratches. So again, this is a tarp that was like $5, and I did not, it's a Harbor Freight tarp that was like, I think it was like $5. I was just, wanting to get it through this storm, because in the past it's been completely fine. For some reason, the past two storms, the wind has been coming from the opposite direction that it usually comes from. So it's not as protected on that side. Now it is. But yeah, the rain got inside, but it didn't get inside nearly to the extent that it did the last time it rained recently. So yes, thank you for asking. They're good. I turned over everything in both aviaries last night. So I didn't feel like I needed to put new wood chips in that are dry, because they're just going to get wet again this week. But I've turned it over, so they're going good. And, I'll keep an eye on that. And every couple of days, I'll probably be turning things over again. And I do have a pile of wood chips if I need to add. So that's good. Yeah, thank you for asking. Everybody saying hi. Andy Rabbit says, my rabbits are used to crazy noise, so mine was good too. Yeah, our rabbits, so Gilroy in general has a lot of fireworks. And so that's one thing that is like, that's good that they get that exposure year round, but it's also bad. And just a minute. I don't know if he's watching. I have water going, and he said he'd get water. I can hear it from here. Yeah, so I don't like, it's a good thing because they get desensitized to things. There's all sorts of sirens, there's all sorts of other things. And so I guess that's good that they get desensitized, and it's not just one day a year that like everything is stressful. But also I would like it if there were no fireworks. So yeah, here we go. Aaron, hey Aaron. Hello everyone. I made it just in time. Just in time. Just in time is a name of a guy who sings. His name is Justin. No, just in case. Yeah. His stage name is Just in Case, like just in case, but just in case. Anyway, but I like play on words. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, I have to go turn the fan off in the rabbit shed real fast. Well, go run out and come back. Thank you. Oh, Manuel says, hello, I'm here too. Dropping a like. He just came and brought me tea. Thank you. Hey, Kelly's here. Feather Connections Homestead. Hi. Just wanted to pop in and tell you I love you. Going to bed early. Sickness got us down over here. Oh, well, thank you for coming. I appreciate you, and I need to get together with you for the website question that I asked you like a long time ago, and then we were both busy. I hope that you're doing well and your kids are doing well, and everybody gets better soon. Eat lots of ginger and garlic. That's my advice. Gidra says, hope you all feel better soon, Kelly. Yeah. Steve says, hey, Aaron, how's the... Gosh, I'm not going to read that. Oh, Linda. Hi, Linda. You're sick here too. Hope you all get to feel better quickly. Wow. I'm sorry. Yeah, everybody eat lots of ginger and lots of garlic. Those are that's the remedy. I need to do a video for fire cider. I just haven't had need to make more, because the one that I made last year is still good in the fridge. So I think that that's something I probably should do soon. Show you guys at least how to do it, and then I'll have more in the refrigerator. Fire cider is apple cider vinegar, which I'm not a vinegar fan, but it works. Apple cider vinegar, and then you put a bunch of stuff in it, let it sit for I think 6 weeks, and then you can strain it out and drink the it's more like a shot of this apple cider vinegar infused concoction. So I'll do that at some point. Andy's back. Wow, your rabbits are not very far from you then. Aaron says, Steve, I actually got an egg sale at basketball practice tonight. Awesome. That is good. I got my mini fridge set up on the porch. There's nothing in it yet, but it just, I have a temperature thing in there. It's a little too cold, so I turned it up a little bit. Turned it up, turned it down. I don't know what you do for a refrigerator to make it warmer. Anyway, and I want to make sure the temperature's right, and then I'm going to put eggs in there and let neighbors know that that's available. So I've let some of them know that it's coming, but it'll be good. So yay to new customers. Oh, Steve, we're sickly here too. Stomach bug. Wow. Well, get better. Oh, yeah. I think eating your medicine is definitely what's good. And but what I mean by that is the herbs and stuff like that boost your immune system and help you through things. So I think that that's important. Everybody saying to feel better soon to everybody else. Oh, Andy Rabbit says, I hope you don't pass it around the live stream tonight. We know who to blame if it happens, right? Yeah, that's not going to happen. Linda says, eating freeze-dried wasabi peas right now. Does that count? I don't know, but probably. So I know, like in Chinese medicine, there's cold foods and hot foods. I would imagine that wasabi would be a hot food, which is what you're supposed to have. Like if you're sick, if you have that, I'm gonna guess. I don't know. See what happens. Let us know how it works. Feather Connection says, thanks for all the well wishes. Missed you all. I need to learn about this fire starter. Yes, you do. I'll do a video on that, but it's something that I don't. During COVID, like the beginning times, I had made some, and I had it in the refrigerator, and I took like a little, tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, every day. And it's one of those things where you drink it and you're like, and it's nasty. But after a certain time period, my body was like, oh, I need that. It was kind of like, oh, it's a little thing that's good and give you a little kick. And then I haven't had it in a while, because I haven't had need, but I figured, when you're going to be around a lot of people, I think it's good to have. It just has a lot of good stuff in it. So I'll do a video on that. Remind me if I haven't done it in like 2 weeks. Okay. It's your assignment, Kelly. Yeah. Dawn's back. Yay. Welcome back. Aaron says he's jealous of Linda. I still have a couple week wait for my freeze dryer. Yeah, I don't have one yet. I do have one. I'm doing the layaway. I'm doing it slowly on purpose to put money elsewhere. Andy Rabbit says fire cider is nasty tasting, but it's awesome. That's exactly what I said. Aaron says I need to learn how to make fire cider. Okay, you guys, if I haven't done it in the next 2 weeks, like, tell me I need to do it, because it's a really good thing to do. Yeah. Yeah, definitely tell me to do it. And Dawn, if you saw the video today, I showed the quail mobiles kind of as a basic of what I have right now. It's not done yet, but I know that you were asking about it before. If it was that Dawn, there's another Dawn. And so that shows, if you haven't seen that, I think you did see it. But if you didn't see it yet, the quail mobiles, which is my mobile quail tractors, I call them quail mobiles. They're in that video towards the end. Linda says, thanks, SO, same to you. The up-down weather isn't helping. Freezing last week, 80 degrees this week. Yeah, I've been there when I lived in other places, and I've been there here with moisture. Something that I have found helped here is because I have a gas furnace, it dries out the air. And so I actually got a whole house humidifier, which is, how big is it? It's like that big by about the same height, like 2.5 feet tall. But it's amazing because then you don't get that yucky back of the throat, like rawness when the air is so dry. And so I recommend, if you can't do a whole house humidifier, definitely turn on the humidifier whenever the weather is doing something weird. And I think that will like equalize out your system. Not a doctor. Andy Rabbit says my rabbits are only 10 feet from my back door. That is a good plan. Mine are slightly further than that, but not maybe 30 feet. not further than that. Linda says it really did clear my head and sinuses. Yeah. Fire cider definitely does. That makes it convenient, Andy. Yeah, 10 feet out your door. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says there is a video of fire cider vinegar out there, many different ways to do it. Yeah, I know probably one of the good ones I saw, Roots and Refuge Farm, Jess Sowards. She does a good one. Maybe start there, and you can add other things to it. Like you can add you don't have to have all those ingredients. Like it's one of those things like, here's the base, use what you have. Like I added oregano and marjoram and stuff like that to it because that has really good healing properties as well. So like it's not a recipe, it's a way of doing things, and there's multiple things you can put in it. So yeah, I would recommend, if you're looking now, look at Roots and Refuge Farm and look at her video there. And yeah, maybe tell her I sent you there. Try it out. I think it sits for 6 weeks on the counter, and then it's good. And you strain it, and it can be in the refrigerator for a very long time. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, Katrina, I mix it in a shot glass with half pineapple juice. It makes it a bit easier to drink. I don't think of it as drinking. It just needs to get in. I have these little tiny teacups, actually. I don't drink alcohol, so I don't have like the shot glass that I have. I used to collect shot glasses from different areas. It was kind of like, the thing you could find everywhere, but I haven't been recently. But the shot glass that I do have is actually for the kitchen, and like it has like tablespoons and teaspoons. It's for cooking. And that works really well. But I have a little teacup that I put a little bit in the bottom, and it's done. Aaron says, that's your homework, Katrina. Yes, I have homework now. Dawn says, oh yes, it was me. I did not see it yet. I'll be sure to look at it after this. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Like I said, they're not done. We worked on the third one today. I did other things. Manuel was working on it. And so that third one is coming out, and then I'll be working on the water system for that. And it's a work in progress. We do what we can do. Yeah, check it out. Andy Rabbit says, just do some canning to help with extra moisture. Yeah, if you don't have a humidifier, you can make soup. You can just have water on your stove. Make sure you know what that's going to cost you in the power department. Gas here went way up. I know that. But yeah, there's all sorts of ways that you can get moisture into the air. Take a bath, leave the water there until it cools. Like there's just little things. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says turmeric, horseradish, ginger, and apple cider vinegar, I think, is the most important. Yeah, I haven't done horseradish, mostly because I don't have it, I don't grow it, and it doesn't really. I don't know that I have good access to it. I probably have it like as a paste or something, but garlic and onion and hot peppers is also good. I know cayenne has a lot of healing properties. A lot of the hot peppers do, actually. So yeah, there's some people put elderberries in it. I haven't done that. But there's, like I say, it's not one recipe. It's a whole bunch of stuff that you can put together. Black pepper is something as well. If you're going to put turmeric in something, I would put black pepper in it just because they complement each other. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says that is the same shot glass I use in the kitchen. Yeah, the one with the tablespoons and teaspoons. Yeah, it's nice. I like to use it. I had a baby with splayed legs. I had to go buy some shot glasses for it. I actually had bought on one of the trips. I had a tall shot glass, which I know a shot is a measurement. It's probably like a double shot. I don't know. But that one worked really well for the babies to put them in there. I don't have that issue anymore because I do all the steps. Talking about quail. When they're either in the incubator or in the brooder on a slick surface, their legs can go out and it like their hips get stuck this way. And so what you do is you put them in a shot glass I put a cotton ball on the bottom so they don't slip all over, and put their legs underneath them, pop them in there, and they'll push on it. They'll push up and they'll like hop to get out. That's kind of my experience with a couple that I've done. And so having a taller glass will work better. The ways to fix that is to not have a slippery surface. So shelf liner in your incubator and, blue paper towels or other, you can even use shelf liner in your brooder or something that's not slick in your brooder as well. So yeah, that's, you can use that. Steve says we used to leave a coffee can of water on top of the furnace and put moisture back into the air. I did that, but I didn't do a coffee can. Well, I don't drink coffee. Plus, coffee cans are plastic now. But I did a cake pan because it's wide and shallow. And that was before I got the whole house humidifier. And it worked. It didn't work as well as the whole house humidifier, but it worked. Yeah, and you can actually if you want to spend money, you can actually buy something that's meant for that. Like, it looks pretty or whatever. But yeah, I used an 8x8 cake pan. Yeah. Yeah, we're going cheap here. Steve says, for those that don't know, a furnace heats a home. Oh, for like people in hot areas that don't get cold. Yeah, so like my house is well, I can show you. My house is heated by that over there, that, and I have candles on top of it. They're smelly candles. They don't ever really melt as much to actually have some scent, but yeah, so that heats the whole house. My whole house is tiny. My house is what is it, 896 square feet. It's officially a bungalow in the paperwork. But yeah, furnaces heat the house, and you can put stuff on top of it to get your moisture up, which is good. Yeah. Aaron says, Steve, I've seen people do that on wood stoves. Absolutely. Yeah, wood stove, you would just need to like leave a pot going or a kettle or something, and I mean that doesn't cost any electricity. That doesn't cost you anything except for the water that's in the pot, right? That's definitely something that people do for wood stoves. Andy Rabbit says, I had to look long and hard for horseradish, but you can buy it in a jar, but you have to make sure it's a 100% horseradish in vinegar. Oh, in vinegar is okay too. Yeah, if it's in vinegar, because it's going in vinegar, that would make sense. Yeah, I'm not a horseradish fan, so I don't have it, but it's I know it's good for you. I think it also keeps gophers away from your garden. Tell me if I'm lying. I think that's something. No, is that horseradish? I don't think that's horseradish. What's the one that? Oh, rhubarb. Rhubarb is the one that's supposed to keep gophers out of your garden. Or like the roots do something. I don't know if horseradish does or too or not, but I think it's rhubarb, which I also don't enjoy. So yeah. Andy Rabbit says, I'm making a tall container so I can grow horseradish this year now. Yeah, grow it, because if it took you a long time to find that thing, I mean, you can pickle it yourself and and have it then, if you can grow it. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, I'm making. Oh, I just read that. Melinda says, we don't have a furnace, just a gas heater. I guess. I mean, mine's gas heater. It's a gas. I guess I don't know what the difference is between a furnace and a heater. It's a heater. Anyway, yeah. Andy Rabbit says, I just canned something to get moisture back in my house. Yeah. It's a good idea, especially if you're going to use electricity or use your gas anyway, and you're going to be canning it anyway. You can have that coincide with like right before bedtime or something for, so it sticks around and the moisture sticks around while you're sleeping. I find that's, to me, that's when it's most severe, is when I'm sleeping and then I forget to turn on the whole house humidifier, like especially at the beginning of the season where I'm like, oh, this isn't an issue yet. Oh yeah, remember that? Yeah. Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer says to Andy Rabbit, I have horseradish in my garden. It's really easy to grow here in East Tennessee. Now, is horseradish one of those plants that's invasive? I think I've never needed to grow it because I don't enjoy the taste of it, but I'm just wondering. I thought it was one of those ones that was invasive. Is that right? Yeah. Oh, Andy wants to know if she ships it. I think it grows well from seed. I don't know. Yeah, so it sounds like everybody's health conscious here in the healing thing, trying to get rid of bugs and all that, and so hopefully fire cider and rest and humidity will help everybody. Yeah. Linda says, I don't have that tall thing you have on your wall. Oh, it doesn't have to be tall. There's lots of different shapes. Yeah. We have an open flame that burns like a fireplace. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, Andy says, yes. That's why I'm making a container to grow in. Yeah. That's what I thought, is that it was invasive, but like I said, I don't have any personal experience with that. Yeah, so Steve's saying horseradish plant can be invasive. Oh, Jennifer offered to ship you some, so you guys got to get together and figure that out. That'd be good. Yeah, and that's something that, if something grows well in one area, you don't know if it's going to grow well in another area, but you guys can talk about, Jennifer already has experience growing it, if she's come upon any challenges or what type of soil or nutrients or anything like that. That would be a good thing. Yeah. So there you go. So I wanted to bring up goals, and I guess right now goal is to get everybody healthy. But it's a goal. I gave you guys my goals on New Year's Day of my business goals, and a little bit personal, but not everything. But do you guys have goals that you have that you can that you've done, like that you've done resolutions or goals for the year? Have you looked at that yet, or is that something that you guys have on your list of things to do? Because that, I find that it's important to write it down and have it in a place that you can see, and wondering what you guys have for goals this year. Yeah, let me know. Nobody wants to tell me their goals. It's okay. All right. Oh, and I forgot to say, Verna's not here. My moderator, she has something going on tonight, so she let me know that last week, and I forgot to tell you guys that she wasn't going to be here. Yeah. Yeah, so Swanson's right. Yeah, Jennifer, if you're gonna put stuff on here, you need to delete it, because I do have the chat on the replay. So, yeah, definitely. Gidro says, I have a mental goal list, or lost. Hopefully, it's a list, but I haven't written anything down. Yeah, I find that when I have a list in my head, it gets, like, I can add things to it, and then it's like, oh wait, what was more important? And I think that when I put it on paper, or when I see it visually, I'm able to, I'm not going to read it out loud. When I see it visually, I can put things in order, and that order changes for me. So, like, okay, this is most priority, but then next week it might not be as high in the priority list. So that's something that I like to have, something that I can either move around or number, or something like that. Unless you are just going big goals, like your goal, like your goal of finishing the barn. You finished it, it's done, you can check it off. If you have another big build project, that that's your project, and you have multiple steps to get there, then that, I think, can live in your head. But yeah. Yeah. Anybody have goals? Man, Gidros, what's some of your goals? Now that you can pumpkin, what else are you canning this year? That's a goal. I think you didn't know you had, now you do. Or maybe you didn't. Yeah. So Dawn says, I just have a goal to get back into exercise for my legs, because it helps me stand. When cleaning quail cages and working with them, I didn't have to. Now winter is here and I'm getting weaker. Yeah. Atrophy can set in quickly, and that's something that is a good goal to get into. Yeah, that's part of my goal is exercise, in my home gym, and also in the qigong way. So qigong exercises is, I had Manuel did them with me once, and he got tired. It's very slow movement, and you're holding positions, and you're breathing a certain way, and that strengthens tremendously, and over time you get stronger. So that might be, it's low impact. Like you're not, punching something, although I do have punching bag for my other stuff. But yeah. So that's a good, like the slow stuff is good to do. Sitting exercises, if you're having trouble walking, that's good to do too. So yeah, good luck and let us know how things go. Yeah. Andy Rabbit's goal is to breed more quail. I think you got that under control. Maybe you don't. Maybe you've gone out of control. No, it's a good goal. It's a good goal. And I understand that, because last year I was struggling to find a schedule. Like I wanted to figure out, okay, what date should I start collecting eggs so that I have quail by this date? And then like, kind of enough that they go through the brooder and then they're in the quail tractors, the quail mobiles, and then on and on. And I have decided I don't need to do back to back. Like I was thinking, oh, I'm going to do back to back. It's going to be so good. And I don't think I need to do back to back. I'm going to do, like right now, I did the last 2 batches back to back, but right now, I have, we're going to have some go into the third quail mobile in a little bit, once that's done. And then the ones that are left in the brooder, they're going to remain there all 8 weeks. So, I mean, they have a few weeks left, but they're going to be there. And it changes. Like ordinarily they would go outside at 3 weeks or 4 weeks in the winter, and I would already have babies going in. But right now I'm like, okay, I can wait and not start a new batch until these guys are almost done, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I hope part of your goal is scheduling, because that's the part that I needed to be better at. Guido says, well, I really need to get better at making YouTube videos. You're always on top of it, and I want to be more like that. Oh, thank you. It's a lot of work. I mean, the videos can take a lot of time. It depends on how long your video is, how many shots you've done, how much footage you have to get that shot. You may have recorded this much and only this much goes in. And it just takes time. Sometimes I have late nights, and I have these goals, and I eventually want to get to a point where I'm not being paid yet, but I would like to get to that point and be able to share all the knowledge, because I do a lot, and you do a lot, and a lot of people do a lot. And if the camera's not on, you can't share that with anybody. So yeah, I would say set a schedule, even if it's, once every other week or once a week. Set a schedule and stick to it, and know that you can make a video beforehand. And like you can have a bank of videos, even if they're simple videos. Some of my simple videos go out when I'm like, oh, I didn't do a video. I need to pick that one and put it on, just to keep a schedule. So you can have videos that are not timely. Maybe it's showing people how to do something, or a recipe or something like that. And you can have that and go, oh, well, this week I'm swamped with other things, but I can still put out content because you've saved them back. So instead of doing, 3 videos in 1 week and then none for a month, spread them out. Unless it is a timely thing, then do that. So that's my advice on how to do that. And it took me a while to get into the groove of that. But what I was finding is that I was producing more. I was filming more than the number of videos I had committed myself to. So then I increased it. So I think that that's kind of like what we say with quail is like, you do what you can, do what you need to do. Don't increase too quickly. And then once you really think you need more room or more quail or more, you have more customers or whatever, then you increase. So I think it's the same the same applies to doing videos. Yeah. And then also know that I have a whole bunch of video footage that I have not edited yet. Which I know I keep telling you, but that's something that can help you, is to have that footage, and then when you do have some downtime, you can go through and do a few videos. Yeah. Steve says my only goal is NPIP in the spring so I can get my egg handling license and get my male-female ratios back in line for fertility to hatch more. Awesome. So NPIP, you are going to go across state lines, or is that only for like the other benefits that gives you? Yeah, maybe are you going to be shipping across state lines? That'd be interesting. Dawn says, took me 1 year to build muscle before quail. Quail built lots more. I can tell a difference. I can't walk, don't stand, but a very short time. Yeah. There are a lot of, I'm hoping that you're either in some physical therapy, or that maybe there's some videos that focus on that you can follow. Because I know there are. I just don't know any. I don't have any recommendations. I know that when my grandma was having trouble, she was told to do sitting exercises. So like if you have a chair with your arm with the arms, to like almost sit down all the way, then get back up, even if it's just a little bit. And that way, if you're tired, you just sit down, and that's the muscles that she was working on. So I'm not going to give you advice, but I'm just letting you know that those things are out there, and I really want to encourage you to work on that, because that's important. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, I have 38 babies right now, 17 days old. Yay. So they are you going to keep them? Do you have your brooder inside, or is it in like a barn or something? I think most people have them inside right now. Except for Aaron. Yeah. Oh, Dawn says crushed kneecaps sort of changes mobility. Yes, it does. I'm sorry. That sounds painful. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So Jennifer, it won't let you post things, so put spaces in it for her. And that's what Steve's saying. Steve says, I have to be MPIP to sell at farmers markets. Oh, or deliver or sell off site. Not really interested in mailing. Without it, I can only sell for pickup at location. So is that a state requirement? Because that's not a requirement here. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Dawn says, oh, I did PT for 2 years. Don't have trouble. I have an injury called crushed kneecaps. Yeah, that's a big injury. Yeah. Well, at least if you did PT, then you know what exercises to do. So you're already ahead of the game there. So it's good. Gidro says, I have a problem deciding if it's something I should video. I feel either there's so much information out there, or deciding if it's important. Also, I have a hard time having a personality on camera. Okay, so number one, you're going to reach people that other people won't reach. So I've done videos that other people, like on things that other people have done, like, oh, I garden and I do this, and so do other people. But your audience might be different. They might be the same, but they might be different. And so that's one thing, is just film it. Film it. And sometimes your videos, some people won't like, and they'll be like, why is she posting this? And then some other times they'll be like, wow, I didn't know this. I would never have looked this up. And except for I'm subscribed to this channel. So that's one thing. And you don't have to have a personality, like a camera personality. I think if you watch some of my earlier videos, it's very awkward, and my speech is not smooth, and all of that. It gets easier. So it gets easier with practice. That's I still blank on things. And then you just, in editing, what happens in editing is that you have to say, okay, that's going out. And if you mess up on something, Don't start the whole thing over. Just take a pause and say what you meant to say, because you can cut that part out and you can save time by just cutting that part out. So, yeah, be you and go from there. Steve says, yes, it's a state requirement in Mississippi. This is the MPIP. Wow, that is interesting. I wonder why, if they're just wanting to test for extra things in Mississippi, because they do extra testing for that, right? Interesting. Andy Rabbit says, Gidros, just pretend you are talking to me. Haha. No, really, just pretend you are talking to someone you know. Put a picture behind the camera. Yeah. So basically, when I started out, I had to be like, okay, there's like hardly any people. Who am I talking to? And then you have to realize that hopefully your channel will grow and you're not talking to one person. You know, you might have a conversation, be conversational, like you're talking to one person, but you might end up talking to a bunch more than you ever expected, or not, but hopefully so. And yeah, so that's, yeah, there you go. Oh, Dawn says, ha, I have another goal, but I forgot it before I could type it. Oh, putting it down on paper doesn't mean in the moving chat, Dawn. Hopefully it's a good goal. Hopefully it's good. Andy Rabbit says, they were inside, but I had to move them to outdoor grow out cage. We're talking about baby quail. It was too much in the house anymore for us. Yeah. You have, raising quail is all about poop management. Honestly, that's all you have to consider is poop management, and then everything else will go into place. For sure. Yeah. Erin says she can't pretend she's talking to me. Oh boy. Gidros says, I accidentally posted an unedited video a while back. Luckily, my little one watched it and told me, but Erin didn't. So now I make sure I'm posting the correct one. Yeah. I posted one that was supposed to be private, and it was just like pumpkin carving. But I posted one that was supposed to be private because, I don't know, our work was doing a contest and I was just doing a video and it wasn't emailing. So I put it on there as a private, and everybody saw it. So I wouldn't trust that completely. But yeah, making sure that you post the right video is good. Gidra says, Andy, I'm terrible in person too. If I couldn't text you advice, I'd be okay. Well, you could do subtitles. You could do a silent film with subtitles. Just don't put them at the very bottom, because when the actual subtitle, like closed captioning stuff happens, it's at the bottom. Put it up near the top. That would be a unique thing, and people who are hearing impaired would appreciate that, and people who people who like to read, or read in a different language or something, that might be something you do. It's a lot more work, I think, if you actually type things out. I know there's software that does that for you, and then you can correct it, but I don't have that. Yeah. Don says, whatever this goal is, I'll remember it because it's something I have to do. So there you go. Blooper videos count too, Steve says. Yes. I've had a couple at the end that I put stuff in, not too much, but yeah, blooper videos. There you go. Yeah. Well, these are good goals, guys. They're easy, achievable goals. The exercise, I mean, that is strengthening. That is important. I don't know that's easy, but it definitely is achievable. And keeping on the right path. So yeah, that's good. So is anybody doing something new this year? Something that you've not done before? I know I ordered some plants. I did hear back. I did order a bunch of tomatoes, the heat tolerant tomatoes, and I still need to order from Baker Creek. They don't have heat tolerant tomatoes that they didn't recommend any. They recommended that there's some hybrids out there. And so I got the Arkansas Traveler, and I did not get the Creole one. I did not say that right. I didn't look very hard for that, and I know I can find it. I just didn't look very hard. I got 3 different types from Johnny's, and that's just, I've never ordered from them before. I just had a gift card. So they had 3 heat tolerant types, and so I'm going to try all 3. 2 or 3 from Wild Boar Farms. I never got in contact with them. They said they wanted, to have a conversation on the phone, but what I did is I just searched the word heat on their website, and that came up. So I think it was 2 varieties from them. Yeah, so I'm going to try some different ones this year, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Andy Rabbit says, "Oh no, not subtitles. I can't read and watch at the same time." Creole. Did I say that right? Aaron, are you telling me right? Creole, like Crayola. Is that right? Like that? Yeah, subtitles is so funny. I don't know. I generally do okay with subtitles as long as it's not too fast, but I know a lot of people have trouble with it. So maybe not. I don't know. Aaron says, Andy, I live with Christina, and Christina is Gidros, who watches everything with subtitles, and it confuses me. Yeah, sometimes we watch, if we watch a movie, Manuel is from Mexico, and he has trouble with like England English. Like here English is fine, but England English he has problems with. My dad also has problems with that, which is interesting. And so if we watch something like that, the subtitles go on. Yeah. Yeah. Don says, I am always trying new veggies or sprouts or microgreens. Awesome. What sprouts are you doing? I know I've done mung bean and I've done alfalfa. I haven't gotten into it very much. I always think it's neat, but I need a schedule. And that's what I have. You're going to see a recurring theme here. I need to put things on a schedule to do that, because otherwise it's like, oh, it's ready. Well, I guess I'm going to wait another 3 days until I have sprouts. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, my dad watches everything in subtitles too. It confuses me too. Yeah, it doesn't confuse me. What confuses me when watching something is when the soundtrack is off and the sound doesn't follow the person's mouth, because I apparently watch people's mouths when they talk. Yeah, that's what confuses me. It's like it becomes really irritating because I'm like, I know that's not what you said. Yeah, the soundtrack is just off. So yeah, sprouts and microgreens. I haven't done microgreens. They're very healthy for you, and so are sprouts. And I know Verna last week or the week before on her Saturday live, she showed her sprout setup in the mason jars. And it's amazing how fast they grow. I mean, they grow incredibly fast. Depending on the type, between 3 and 5 days, you have food, and it's high nutrient. And what's amazing is that plant has everything it needs to grow in a little tiny seed, and all you do is add water, and all that nutrition is in there, and it gets bigger. Like that's what's amazing, is all that thing is inside the seed, all that energy. Yeah. Deidre says, oh no, we can't watch them if the mouths and words don't match. I know. It's so sad. Yeah, Dawn says, I only do lentil and greens or speckled pea sprouts. I don't know what speckled pea sprouts is. I'm going to have to look that up. Everything else is microgreens. I'm still learning a schedule. I feed the quail dog and myself with them. Yeah, that sounds great. Lentils. I did not know that lentils is something that people sprouted. You're gonna have to try that. Yeah, I mean, I have lentils, so I might as well try it, right? Dawn says, my grandmother was deaf, so she had a device that put closed captioning on the TV. I grew up with it. Yeah, my grandma didn't hear well out of one ear, and then her hearing got worse out of both ears, and she had a hearing aid. And when you do the ear test, the hearing test to get the hearing aid, you're supposed to bring in someone who you're familiar with hearing their voice. And at the time I lived with her. So I went with her for this. And it's so funny because that is when I learned that my grandma could read lips. She would have the headphones on, the noise canceling things. And they told me to say something. I said it to her and she repeated it. And then they put the clipboard in front of my mouth. And I said the same thing and she couldn't hear me at all. So it's like, ooh, be careful what you say around grandma. Not that I would say anything bad, but yeah, that's a thing. Andy Rabbit says, Dawn, I used to start a new batch every day for my rabbits. I just had to learn how much they would eat in a day. Oh, that's a good thing. Andy, what sprouts or microgreens did you use for your rabbits? Because that's something that I'm trying to compile a list of basically things they can eat, and then looking at the nutrition of those things and trying to figure out like if I can substitute, like how much I can substitute their feed with stuff I can grow, but also still have the same nutrient balance. So that's what I'm I don't know. I keep saying I'm working on it. I haven't actually worked on it, but it's in my head. Does that mean I'm working on it? Dawn says, I can't quit buying 1 pound bags of seeds. Now I'm wanting a mustard seed. Yeah, I'm betting those are spicy. They can be spicy, the little guys. Little mustard seeds. Andy Rabbit says, I want mustard seeds. I gave like $4 for that tiny container in the store a few weeks ago. Yeah, it's amazing how much sprouts cost in the store. I mean, I love alfalfa sprouts. Like, you can get them in the store and put them on. I mean, it's really great on a bagel sandwich with like cream cheese and yumminess. I haven't had dinner. But then I keep forgetting that I can grow things myself. And yeah. And I know that there are seed sources specifically, like bulk seed sources specifically for growing sprouts. I know that some of the bulk seed sources that are not specifically grown for human consumption, they can have like stuff in, like they're not clean necessarily. I don't know how much you would, I don't know if you get sick with it or not, but I've heard that, and I don't know if you guys can tell me yes or no, or if there's good places to get bulk or any of that. Yeah. Kijo says, Dawn, where do you buy your 1 pound bags? And Dawn says, I started 3 trays of microgreens on the same day, and that was a bad thing. That's exactly what I'm talking about with schedule. I think I did like 2 jars of mung beans, 2 like quart jars of mung beans when I was growing sprouts, and that's too much. You want it to be like, oh, today and tomorrow, and today and tomorrow. Like you want it to be, a couple days, not a bunch of it. Yeah. Dawn says, True Leaf Market, Sprout House, Todd's Seeds. I have heard of Todd's Seeds. I don't know where I heard of that or what I heard about them. All on their websites, or they're all on Amazon too. Okay. Dawn says, True Leaf Market, I bought a 5 pound pail of green peas. The speckled peas are better tasting. Interesting. Yeah, so sprouting, I should probably get into that again because I do like sprouts. I don't have experience with many sprouts, but the lentil sprouts sounds interesting. Sounds really interesting, actually. Get a little bit of spiciness. Yeah. No, when I'm in the field and the mustard seeds are happening, the wild non-native mustard, the weeds, you can eat the pods, or you can open the pods and eat what's inside. Same thing with wild radish, and that's rather tasty if you get them before they go woody. So there you go with that. Oh, Andy Rabbit says, "Oh yes, cowpeas. Is speckled peas the same as cowpeas? Because I have heard of cowpeas. Yeah, actually, I think I have some seeds for that. I think I planted that one year. I planted that one year and then collected everything in a bunch. I had like a bunch of different dried peas or dried beans there. Don says, I started alfalfa on Christmas Day. The next day, red cabbage. Todd's seeds are good, but his website wants priority shipping. That's outrageous. Yeah. Yeah, shipping is something that I guess gets everyone. When I was ordering the tomato seeds from all the different people, there was Johnny Seeds was $8 to ship 3 seed packs, and I thought that was high. I thought that was really high, especially since most other ones, I think all but one of the other places that I got from was free shipping, and they just calculated into the product. And the seed packs were not significantly different. And then I think the other one was more reasonable. So I don't know if Johnny Seeds does a flat number for up to a certain many or whatever. Yeah. Oh yeah, cowpeas. I missed a message. I said that. I was asking Dawn if that was the same as the speckled peas. Oh no, speckled peas are speckled green and just smaller than green peas. Okay, so cowpeas, that's what you did for your rabbits. I might be lost. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says I would buy the bags of lentil from the grocery store. Yeah, I actually have a bunch of lentils from Azure Standard. I don't get something every month or every other month, but I find that their bulk stuff is a lot cheaper. Everything that's not bulk stuff is not always cheaper. In fact, a lot of times it's just not cheaper. But they do have, like, if you're wanting organic stuff, they do have a lot of organic items. Like if you can't grow something and you want to get something. But yeah, I get my lentils and quinoa and flour and some other thing, like big beans and rice from them. It's cheaper from them, and they're good people. Lentil sprouts are good. They were the first thing I sprouted for the quail. Okay. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says I would also go to the health food store and buy in bulk seeds, beans, and things like that. I haven't seen bulk anything back yet, but I also don't hang out in a lot of stores. I am what I call a guy shopper. I know what I'm going in. I go in, I get it, and I get out. So that's why, like the other day, I'm like, I wanted Ritz crackers. There's nothing you can replace Ritz crackers with except for Ritz crackers, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have this dip. I'm gonna get Ritz crackers, and it's gonna be good. And I went and I looked at the aisle, and oh my gosh, those prices are high now. I actually walked the store just to look at the prices after that, and it was ridiculous. Yeah. Let's see. I do sprouts, lentils from the grocery store for quail and dog. Yeah. That's Dawn. Dawn says Johnny Seeds is expensive with shipping. Yeah, I like I said, I had never ordered from them before. I have a gift card, so the gift card paid for the shipping, so I'm not complaining. It was just weird to see that, because I bought from like 5 different people or 5 different companies that day, and I think only 2 of them did shipping, and they were really, really high. So yeah, I don't know anything about them yet as far as seeds go, but there you go. Guido says grocery prices are terrible right now. I know they are very, very high, and I don't think they're going to come down. I mean, even just like the price of feed has gone up, but it's still less than, like, raising quail is still less than chicken, in the store. Like, it has gone up tremendously. And then the eggs too, like, it's amazing what's going on. And somehow Costco is staying pretty fairly level with their costs on eggs. We go there. Well, Minimal has a thing, and we go there for milk, and other things, but milk, and it's in the same area, the same cold area as the milk is the eggs, and I think they've gone up, but not as crazy as other, like, grocery stores. So that was interesting. I think it's kind of like their roasted chickens. They probably, they keep it low because they know you're going to come in to get a roasted chicken, and then you're going to come out with a whole basket full of other things. So they might be selling it at a loss of that product, but getting more in total from you. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, I wish my hubby would guy shop. Is he a browser? Yeah, I mean, in Safeway, I go to Safeway because my bank is in Safeway. But in Safeway, they have a shelf in the back. This is the sales shelf. Whenever I go in there, I go there first, see what's there, and then go, whatever I'm there for. So yeah, I'm a sales shopper. Yeah. Don says, what I hate is the food quality has turned to pig feed for fresh fruit and veggies. $8 for 6 organic rotten apples. I made the hubby return them. He guy shops. I don't know. Is that a term? Did I just coin that term? You guys all understood what I meant, right? Yeah. I know. I think people are just trying to sell what they can. And there's a lot of limitations on multiple levels, right? So there's limitations in the field because you have, shortages of this or that, and you may have labor for shortages, and the weather's been weird. And so your product might be more expensive there, and it might be, a lesser quality depending on the weather and, water and all that. And then there's, the shipping, you have to ship that, or truck it, more likely truck it somewhere, or by train or whatever. And it has to go on a journey. And growing stuff at home is the best way to do it. I mean, if you've had fresh fruit off of a tree, like, that's ripe that day, if you've had a strawberry, if you have a strawberry and you're like, you're going to be ripe this afternoon, I'm going to wait until this afternoon to eat you. And you take it that afternoon instead of the morning, there is a big difference even in that. And if you are able to eat fruit that is ripened on the plant, not in the truck, not on a shelf, not on your shelf when you get it home, then that is a much better things. There's a few things that are okay with that, like pears. There are pears that are supposed to be picked when they're hard. Now, are they picked when they're ripe? That's a different question. If you have a pear, you should be able to hold it, lift it, and it would come off. Like, you shouldn't be tugging on it. I don't know how they do that commercially, but they do store them in the refrigerator or in a cooler, and then bring them out every so often. And that is how pears, that's how you deal with it at home for a lot of pears. And there's different kinds of, there's different varieties of pears, and there's different like classifications of pears, I guess. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says there is an NFL player that may have just died on the field. Bengals. Uh-oh. Hopefully not. I don't follow football, but I don't wish that on anybody. Yeah. Yeah. Dawn says, remember the stinking apple story. Toss them in the back porch in 20 degrees and return the next day. Did it stink? Interesting. Yeah, we returned, I think it was an apple. It was several months ago. And Manuel had got, I think it was an opal apple. He likes those at the store, and cut into it. And like the whole center was black and rotten. Like everything else looked good, but the whole center was like rotten. And I've never seen that before. But I think he got multiple ones, and multiple of them were like that. Interesting. Yeah. Making Andy Rabbit laugh. Dawn says $3 before COVID and now $8. Nope, no excuse. I had apple trees, had to cut them down for hubby to be able to get the travel trailer out of the yard. Long story. Well, is the stem still there? Like, is the stump still there? Because you can overgraft it if you left it there. You can actually take other apple varieties and graft onto that. So I'm hoping that it will be that is still there, and that you won't have lost that tree forever, because that is something you can do. Yeah. And so grafting is the time to. California rare fruit growers are having their exchanges. There's a bunch of emails in my inbox that I haven't read yet, but I know that some are happening in February, and I think some are happening in January. I'm not sure, but that is the time, basically, when people are pruning their trees. You keep them in a bag with a little tiny bit of moisture, not wet, but a little moisture, and you just put them in a Ziploc bag, throw them in the crisper in your refrigerator, and depending on where you are, but by March or late February, you should be able to graft onto your trees that are dormant. And then in spring, as long as the cambium lines up, and I'm planning on showing you guys this. I'm really hoping that someone brings a particular kind of nectarine. Really hoping. I have that one variety in mind. And I'm hoping to show you guys this. But as long as the cambium, the inner bark layer, lines up, and it will heal over, and that will become a new tree. So yeah, if you have the stump there, don't dig it out. Andy says, my hubby don't know what a pear should be. I had some I was letting get soft. He was going through the fridge and felt them and thought, oh, these are too soft. No good. Toss them. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And a perfect pear is so good. I did some research up at Heart Mountain National Antelope Refuge in southeastern Oregon. And I was doing summer research there. You live in a bunkhouse. There's a bunch of people there. And someone had brought us a huge box of bananas. And we were all waiting for them to get ripe, because they were all like super like on the green side of yellow. And as soon as they started getting spots, someone threw them all out. And we were so pissed. We made her... not me, someone else in the bunkhouse made her go and get them from the dumpster. Luckily, they were on top. Yeah. Dawn says, Katrina, hubby paid $8 for 6 apples and they stunk horrible. The bag was coated with juice on the inside. I threw them on the back porch in the Arctic cold front. He returned them the next day. Wow. Yeah, the other day, a couple weeks ago, I actually brought some squishy produce to the produce person in a grocery store and said, you want this? Yeah. Dawn says, no, Katrina, that was years ago we did that. I had apple trees, almond trees, and wonderful peach trees. Not anymore. Uh-oh. Maybe this year's the year to plant. That would be good. Have some fruit. Right now is the time to get the bare root trees, at least in my area. I don't know for other areas, but before things start growing is when it's the right time for those. Andy Rabbit says, I don't really watch football either, but that's sad. It just happened to be on the TV. I'm not watching really, but seen it and like, oh my goodness. Hopefully he's just knocked out. Yeah, that's my hope. Dawn says, LOL, these dang men. That was horrible. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, I like banana when the black spots start too. That's when they're sweet. That's when they're sweeter. Yeah. That's what I like. So Andy says, I was so mad at him. And of course, the pears were gone in the store by then too. Yeah, that's sad. That's so sad. Yeah, Andy says, my hope too. Yeah. Well, it's been good chatting with you guys. It is past 7. It's 7:11. You guys want to talk about anything specific? We can bring that up now. Otherwise, I think we'll say goodnight. Dawn says, I'm too old to plant and wait on trees again. I used to manage a nursery for a job for 3 years. Yeah. Okay, so you know what you're doing then. Maybe someone wants a tree gone and you can say, hey, dig it up, plant it over here. I don't know. Is 911 here? Oh. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to hang up. It's good talking with you guys today, and I'm hoping that everybody's feeling better soon. Hold me to it with the Firesider video because I need to do that. And yeah, so tomorrow's video, 9/11. I thought you said 911. Tomorrow's video is going to be about ice baths for your quail and what it is and how to do it. So I think a lot of you guys probably already know that who are on here at least commenting, but that's what the video is for tomorrow. And thanks for chatting and stay safe and write down your goals. If you wrote a goal on here, write it somewhere other than here. All right. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching.